Hello, my little ghosties. And as you can probably tell by now, I've at least mostly recovered from my sickness/allergies. So, I will be continuing my reading of Monster by Death of a Fangirl. I will also be leaving a link to Chapter 2, which is what I will be reading, in the description below. So please go check that out and support the author. Now, on with the story. Chapter 2. The salty sea breeze gently blew through Prince Roman's hair as his kingdom's ship reached the docks of the kingdom of Croy. He sighed happily, his smile on his face that he didn't think would leave until this celebration was over. "Someone looks happy," his father pointed out, with a chuckle. "Looking forward to seeing a certain someone, aren't we?" Roman blushed, not meeting the king's eyes as he chuckled again. "Nothing to be ashamed of, Roman," Logan said, smiling. "I'm sure he's looking forward to seeing you too." "I hope so," the prince replied, with an embarrassed smile. I'm always worried he'll forget about me in the year he doesn't see me." His father looked amused at this statement. "I don't believe that to be possible," he said, raising an eyebrow at Roman, as Roman rubbed the back of his neck with embarrassment. There was a silence between them as the crew started tying the boat down to the docks. King Roman could see the way his son was fidgeting. He was clearly eager to go, but was trying to be respectful and stay with his father and his people. He put a hand on the prince's shoulder and smirked. "Go." Roman's face lit up and he nodded. "Thank you," he called as he ran down and jumped onto the docks. King Logan watched in amusement at the way he ran toward the palace. The prince didn't care how many people were looking at him, not that they were mad at him in any way. They all knew he was close to the Prince of Croy, and many of them laughed as he ran past. Some would wave, leading Roman to smile and wave back at them. The Prince of Clista reached the gates of the palace, but knew a better way to find who he was looking for. Every year, at the same time, the prince would walk through his favorite part of the royal gardens, and Roman would sneak in and meet him there. Excitement buzzed through him like electricity as he made his way to a familiar wall, climbing it with ease and dropping into the shadows of the shaded section of the garden. Roman looked around, breath catching in his throat upon seeing him. He was hidden from his view as he stood behind one of the small trees, peering around as he watched him with a wistful smile. Prince Virgil let out a sigh as he walked through the garden. Part of the reason he loved this section in particular was the shade provided by small weeping willow trees that lined the path. It provided a sort of hideaway from the bright sunlight, and not many liked to walk through the darkened part of the gardens. The Dark Prince loved the solitude of it. He was lost in thought as he sat down on the bench. Virgil bit his lip before pulling out the necklace again, smiling to himself. Roman gasped softly upon seeing it, smiling even wider. He hid behind the tree as Virgil looked around, thinking he'd heard a noise, when the Dark Prince looked back down. Roman smirked a little and rubbed his fingers together. Tiny sparks of flames came from them as he did so. The prince smiled, blowing in the direction of Virgil. The Dark Prince sighed as a warm breeze suddenly washed over him. He smiled as he relaxed a little more. "You can come out, you know," he said out loud. Roman smiled to himself and leaned around the tree trunk for Virgil to see him. "You kept it," he said as the Dark Prince stood up. Virgil smiled a little, nodding as he began walking down the path. The Prince of Clysta smiled to himself as he followed from behind the trees. "Why would I have not?" he asked, still fiddling with it as he walked. "Well, you're not the jewelry type," Roman commented, earning a small laugh from him. "A gift is a gift. I would never get rid of a gift," he replied smoothly, seeming unfazed. The other prince smiled, stepping onto the path with him. They were quiet for a moment before he spoke up again. "Well, you don't have to wear it." "Well, it'd be rude to never wear it," Virgil said, smirking. They reached the end of the path, marked by a large cherry blossom tree. Roman turned to him as they stopped, voice quieting. "I thought you said red wasn't your color," he murmured with a smile as he took his hands in his. Virgil still returned his smile as they stood close to each other. The prince's voice was soft as he asked another question. How often do you wear it?" The Dark Prince looked down as he blushed. "I don't take it off," he murmured, embarrassed of the fact. Though he was embarrassed, Roman was overjoyed. He smiled as he laughed softly. "I've missed you," he murmured, meeting his eyes. "I wish I could see you more often." Virgil nodded in agreement. The two of them stayed quiet, just standing together and enjoying each other's presence. They jumped a little, voices of the people entering the palace for the celebration grew louder. The Dark Prince looked down. "We should probably get going. They'll get worried if two of the princes are missing," he said, pulling away reluctantly and starting back towards the palace. Roman caught up with him quickly, a smile on his face, despite having to go to the celebration. "What's that smile for?" Virgil questioned, looking a little confused. "I'm just happy to see you again," he said, unable to stop himself from smiling. He snapped his fingers, causing more sparks. "See? I'm so excited I can't control my magic." The statement made Virgil freeze in place. Roman didn't notice until he was several feet in front of him. He looked back curiously, seeing him zoned out. "Virgil, you all right?" The Dark Prince blinked a couple times before snapping out of it and catching up with him. He felt cold and tried to walk as close to the warm prince as he could. He ignored the cold feeling and tightness in his chest. "Yeah, I'm fine." So, my lovely ghosties, that will be all for today. I'm hoping that I'll be posting on Tuesday as well. So, yeah, we should be back to the normal posting schedule of Mondays through Thursdays. And I will see you guys next time. Good night, my little ghosties.